Metal shrieks as you claw your way out from twisted seats. The stench of fuel sharp in your nose. Smoke buries the wreckage behind you, screams already distant. Shirt torn, blood glistening on your arm, you stagger into jungle so dense it swallows the sun. Insects swarm your face and sweat burns your wounded skin. You reach for the scorched emergency kit, hands shaking, lungs filling with the thick, wet air. You know you're alone. Every second the jungle presses closer. You're losing blood. The first crack of thunder splits the silence. A storm's coming. You have minutes to shelter or risk being swept into darkness, injured and utterly exposed. Will you give in to panic or focus long enough to survive the night? The drone of the engines settles into your chest, a steady rhythm you're almost lulled by. You adjust your seatbelt, your fingers tracing the laminated safety card, noting instructions you've seen countless times but never really believed you'd need. Second row from the wing, aisle seat. Your backpack contains snacks and a dog-eared guidebook. As the flight attendant moves through the cabin, her tired smile as thin as the cabin air, you catch her eye and offer a nod. Beyond the window, clouds billow over endless green. You think about why you're here. Research trip, business, running from or toward something. It doesn't matter much. You check your watch, calculate the hours to Manaus, and, just for a second, let your eyes close. Turbulence snaps you awake. The plane lurches sideways, engine shrieking above the rising din of startled voices. You sit bolt upright as overhead bins spring open, luggage tumbling. The safety card you just held flies from your lap. Metal screams and oxygen masks whip down. Somebody starts yelling prayers behind you. You grip the armrest so hard you feel bone. Everything pitches. The green outside blooms, the world flips, and a river swells up impossibly close outside your window. For a heartbeat, you see only color and panic. The fuselage crumples. Then there's only a thunderous crack, and darkness swallows everything whole. You gasp awake, lungs thick with smoke and burnt plastic. There's blood in your throat, your lips, and a weight pins your lower body. Ears ringing, you fumble for the harness, breath turning frantic. The seatbelt locks, then gives. Sunlight slashes through a torn fuselage, tangled seats, bodies not moving. Smoke claws at your face. You drag yourself toward the breach, each motion met with electric agony. You taste copper, crawling past scorched upholstery, avoiding orange tongues of flame crackling along one wing. You stumble into the green heat beyond. You collapse face first into blackened leaves, thigh on fire. Glass juts from your flesh. Shreds of uniform, someone else's blood. Still you're moving because to stop would be to die. You force yourself to assess the damage. Thigh sliced deep, ankle ballooned, wrist tender, ribs stabbing with every breath. Gritting your teeth, you dig through your backpack, what's left of it. You limp back into the wreckage, hand over mouth, scavenging. The silence stings, no voices, no hands reaching, only insects, already swarming over the blood, the wreck, your exposed skin. Every bag is a desperate lottery, from seat backs and the scattered debris you salvage. 2 semi-crushed water bottles rolling under a seat. 3 bags of pretzels, salty and torn. A compact first aid kit tucked behind a safety manual. Most of its contents damp or ruined. A roll of tape. A disposable lighter from someone's purse. Your phone won't turn on. Its glass is spidered. Pixels dead. You shout again. No one answers. The emptiness presses in. Bugs crawl your arms and neck. You slap them, but they're relentless. You try not to dwell on what you've just walked through. Your nostrils sting from burning fuel. Warm rain begins to fall, audible before you feel it. With trembling hands, you drag a warped section of metal away from the belly of the wreck, propping it against a boulder to form a crude lean-to. It won't be enough, but it's something. From shredded seats, you gather the least sodden jackets and create a barrier against the coming deluge. By dusk, the downpour is total, relentless, staccato on tin, washing grime from your skin and replacing it with clammy cold. You huddle in your shelter, soaked to the marrow, shivering, every muscle cramping. You jam your swollen ankle into the curve of a seat cushion, wincing at the throb. Your hands don't stop shaking for hours. Night in the Amazon is a sensory assault. Steam rising off the soaked earth, insects shrilling and buzzing, the weight of absolute blackness pressing against your eyes. You ration a handful of pretzels, tongue turning to dry paper. Eventually, Thirst eclipses caution. You crawl toward a muddy, sluggish stream only feet from the crash, scoop water into your palm. You stare at it, a tormented, miserable offering. You think of parasites. You drink anyway. The first swallow tastes like earth and fear. You cough, but keep drinking, feeling foul grit catch in your teeth. As you return to your shelter, you stumble into brambles that tear your calves, drawing angry red scratches that sting beneath the rain. Sleep stalks you but never arrives. Snakes, green as the moss and nearly invisible, move in liquid silence inches from your shelter. Once you flinch away just in time, heart smashing inside your ribcage. Later, as you try to sleep atop a pile of life jackets, a wave of pain wakes you. Fire ants infesting the torn fabric, crawling up your thighs. You slap wildly, but the stings flare all night, surging with every twitch. When you finally drift off, it's into a fevered malaise, half dream, half memory. Your mother chides you softly, her face flickering between trees. The most familiar voice in the world asks you to please get up. Dawn brings heat and dazzling bird calls, surreal in your misery. In the weak light, you check your wounds. Your thigh is pus bright and angry. With trembling fingers, you pour the last dribble of drinking water over it. Gauze and tape from the first aid kit sting bitterly. Your vision blurs. You cradle your leg and rock, sobbing, sure the infection will kill you. You take stock. Only one bag of pretzels left, your stomach groaning. Hunger gnaws at your resolve, sharp as broken glass. You peer into dappled green, seeking food. You spot berry clusters and force yourself to gamble. You taste, wait hours, mouth expectant for numbness or tingling. Nothing. You eat a little more. By the third night, a jaguar's presence is made known by footprints and a musky tang in the air. That night, you build a ring of broken seatbacks. Stacking them high, you sleep with a metal bar gripped in both hands. In the darkness outside the smolder of your pitiful fire, two golden eyes open and close, reflecting the embers. You force yourself to stand, arms spread, throat raw as you bark out noise, fear battling the animal's uncaring gaze. The tension lasts minutes. Eventually the eyes vanish. You slump, sticky with sweat and silent terror. The jungle throws new threats at you every day. Bruises bloom across your legs from constant stumbles. Spines from unseen thorns break beneath your skin, festering small wounds. At the stream you try to fish, poking a sharpened rod at shadows. The effort is a disaster until finally you spear something floppy and silver. Cleaning it is crude, messy. You choke down half-raw flesh, barely cooked on a pile of sparking leaves. The taste is grotesque, tinny and oily, but it's a victory, brutal and real. Days blur as you patrol your shrinking perimeter, hallucinations giving way to grim routines. Check wounds, scavenge, huddle from rain, speak to the ghosts in your head. Sometimes you press your face to your filth-crusted knees and pray. Sometimes you plan escape, using scorch marks and compass tricks from memory. Food becomes desperate, beetles under logs, ants the size of your pinky, a lizard roasted with a lighter, each meal a lesson in careful risk and revulsion. Once you find the shoe of another victim, its contents heartbreaking, you force yourself to take the socks, dry and still clean, and wear them. You bite your lips so hard you taste blood just to feel real. On day 9, in a moment of feverish clarity, you fashion a compass from a sliver of metal and a floating leaf, trying to orient yourself toward where the river noise grows louder. Your head pounds from dehydration. The sensation of thirst transforms. Now your tongue sticks to your teeth, lips cracked and bleeding, every thought underscored by a desperate, gnawing lack. You dream of your family, their voices guiding you. One more step, keep moving. One day you stumble on another stretch of twisted wreckage. It's clear. The jaguar has already prowled here. The horror brings you to your knees, nausea washing over you. Fear threatens to paralyze you, but necessity wins. You scavenge another water bottle, a sodden pack of crackers. Hope flickers, only to gutter when you reach the riverbank, intending to swim across to what looks like a trail. Your foot slips on mossy rocks, and you think you'll drown, then realize the river teems with piranhas, shadows darting, circling below. You retreat, teeth chattering. You experiment for days, using reflective foil to signal the sky, rearranging crash debris into an SOS, setting small fires with the lighter. No sign of help, not even a passing drone or helicopter. Hope wanes, edges darken. You hallucinate loved ones, your father barking at you to stop crying and stand up, as if you were 7 again. On the 12th day, sunburnt and delirious, you suddenly hear the stutter of chainsaws. You force your battered body to crawl toward the sound, scraping through thickets, stumbling over roots. In a flooded lowland, you find a felled tree, a paint-sprayed mark, and a plastic supply cache. Water, a weathered map, a mostly eaten lunch. You drink, not caring about the chemical aftertaste. You laugh and cry in the same breath. The relief, a weight tumbling from your shoulders. Days 13 through 16 blur between bursts of forward movement and crashes of exhaustion. Every waking second, you listen for the chainsaw. Mosquito clouds swarm your face, making you almost lose your mind. You bat them away, sleepwalking through fogged heat and slick mud. Your body is skeletal, bruised, cold no matter how much sun there is. You slap at hallucinated ants, talk to the vision of your brother, invent reasons to keep stepping through the choking green. The sense of being hunted, by animals, by time, never quite leaves. Each night, you wonder if you'll wake up at all. On the 17th morning, through a haze of pain and ragged hope, you punch through tangled undergrowth and emerge, legs wobbling, onto a crude dirt road. Sun is rising in shreds through enormous trees. Your vision flickers. A man in a dirty blue shirt is staring, machete glinting at his belt, radio crackling in Spanish at his hip. Shock writes itself across his face. You open your mouth, your voice cracks, syllables tangled. He runs to you, calls for help. Arms catch you as your legs finally give. Your words collapse into the familiar embrace of rescue. Later, in the antiseptic white of a hospital, hooked to IVs, the world closes in softly around you. You answer questions, feel strange hands tending old wounds. You call for family, and this time real voices answer. But jungle sounds haunt your dreams. The shriek of parrots before rain, the snarl of a distant cat, the thunder of your own heart. Each scar and memory is a lesson on the indifference of nature and the obstinate will to live. Survival never let go. It clung beneath your skin, remade your mind. Even now, when rain lashes the window or you smell earth after a shower, you close your eyes and remember the Amazon's dark, radiant wild. You are forever changed, haunted but unbroken. You faced death, clawed through the wild, fought for breath and body. Every day since, you don't forget what it cost to keep living and what you found in yourself when the world vanished.